Honestly, I cannot believe how I achieved all of this in just 1 year. All those habits that I had been chasing for so many years. And I just had to shift my mindset a little. And it wasn't even hard. Have you ever wondered what it's like to travel full-time? Exploring, partying, meeting people, swimming, playing games, visiting places, and feeling empty and exhausted? But why? For some time, I couldn't really understand why I wasn't happy. I was doing everything that I have ever dreamt of. But in all that, I think I forgot about the relationship with myself. Traveling has been a big part of my life since I remember. I think it used to be my excuse for not having any particular routine or habit that I could stick to, because when I travel, I have to make the most out of it, right? I guess it doesn't work when traveling becomes your lifestyle and you just end up forgetting about the most important thing, which is your self-care. I think hundreds of failures I've had taught me those 12 crucial things that I had to change in my mindset in order to finally succeed. And I will share them with you in this video. So welcome, and I hope you'll have fun. So I used to be the one who just couldn't get anything done. I procrastinated, I postponed everything until the deadline hit me in the face. So one day I decided I wanted to change it. It all started a year ago when I moved to Singapore for my exchange semester. It is definitely easier to make a change when the environment around you changes as well. And it worked. I started eating healthy, working out. I didn't party as much as I used to. I was really happy back then. I thought I finally figured it out, but was it sustainable? Of course not. I just didn't realize that staying for half a year in Singapore wasn't really the same as my usual lifestyle. Because I actually lived there. I didn't travel out of Singapore. Plus, even though I thought I fixed everything, I didn't realize it wasn't gonna last for long because I didn't build a proper foundation for my habits. For example, at the end of my stay in Singapore, I had to write my thesis in 9 days because I just procrastinated with it for the entire semester there. I thought that my desire to change my life was enough, but of course it wasn't. After Singapore, I traveled to Malaysia and Thailand with my friend Pablo, and all my habits were gone. We were eating, partying, drinking, and eating, and of course I was having so much fun. But after coming back to Poland after half a year of being away, I did the same. No habits, just catching up with my friends, then traveling again and again. And then I realized I was doing something wrong, because even though I was doing so many great things, I wasn't really happy. I was drained and not satisfied. In July, when I left for my gap year with my boyfriend, I knew I had to figure something out, because I knew that traveling full-time without being productive wasn't gonna be fun anymore. So you know what? I worked hard. I was experimenting a lot. I was failing a lot too. But after almost 8 months, finally I found a way to combine full-time traveling with being productive and happy. So that is why I decided to share my journey with you and my 12 mindset changes that helped me to achieve that. So listen, first of all, I want to tell you something very important. It's not your fault that you fail. This crucial thing taught me that I wasn't actually the reason why I failed, but I had a hard time designing the proper way of incorporating new habits into my lifestyle. I was blaming myself for failing every time, and I just felt less and less motivated because I thought it was all my fault and that I will never be able to be the person I actually wanted to be. So listen, don't be sad and don't say that you'll never be able to be productive, because it doesn't work anytime you try, because it's simply not your fault. And also just remember that every failure teaches us something or reminds us something that we already know. So you have to start loving your failures, because you will fail in your life so many times. And it's not about avoiding it, but actually allowing yourself from time to time to fail and to see that there is no success without failure. Just try to understand why you actually failed and what you could have done better. Okay, so listen, actually after realizing this, the first thing I want you to do is to identify your core values and goals. Like, I've heard it so many times and I neglected it because I thought I didn't need it. I don't know why. Because this is just something that will give you the purpose to work on your goals, because I've noticed that I really wanted to change my daily habits, but I didn't have my reason why I actually wanted to do it. And what I actually wanted to change. And it resulted in me just being confused about my aspirations. So first, just give yourself some time for self-reflection and think about the activities, people, and situations that bring you joy and fulfillment. Just pay attention to how you feel before, during, and after certain activities. Do you feel happy and energized, or do you feel drained and anxious? Because this can help you identify what activities or habits are no longer serving you. After actually doing that, I found it so much easier to write down my goals. And actually what worked for me the most was to write my 20 reasons why I actually wanted to change. It can be anything from even like that you want to be the best for your friends or your family. And after creating your list, put it in a place that you know you'll have easy access to, just to remind you every day about why you're actually doing it all. Okay, so that was a real game changer. I don't know if you've already realized, but you cannot change your whole identity overnight. I used to believe that I really could, and I think that was just the main reason why I failed, because I thought I had to change now or never. And finally, I understood that if you have the bare minimum set, you'll be able to maintain your habits even on those hard days when you just don't feel like doing anything, and it will make completing your habits easier and easier every day. And it will be easier for you to actually get up from the couch, because for me that's probably the hardest thing to do usually. And you will notice that if you actually take the first step and, for example, grab the book in your hand and just read this one page, sometimes you'll find yourself thinking, oh wow, that was quick, so why don't I read more, you know? And you'll actually end up reading 10 or 20 pages, and that's gonna be actually much more than you ever wanted to read, you know? What also helped me a lot was establishing routines in my daily life. Oh, and also stacking my habits into already existing ones that were just naturally linked, and that made it easier for me to remember about them and execute them, you know? You have to make your habits enjoyable and try things you've never done before in order to make it exciting again. Do not try to force yourself to like something. Just find something that you like and progress on your goal with it. Maybe try doing your daily habits with friends. Maybe just change the environment around you. Anything that will make it enjoyable for you. So that's how I approached working out in Canada. I've noticed that I wasn't motivated to work out because it started to be boring for me. So I decided to step out of my comfort zone and try new workouts that I've never tried before. And guess what? It worked. I literally thought that I hated cardio, but I just hated the way I imagined it. So I signed up for 2 weeks pass for spinning, and I literally fell in love. Like the combination of caring about your cardio, strength, and soul. Like no one ever told me about that, and I didn't know it was gonna be so entertaining for me, you know? Like I love it, and I felt so much better after actually implementing this habit of exercising, you know, systematically. So try new things, experience, like explore anything that you can. And the same thing applies to any other habits. If you don't like working on your computer at home, try working in a cafe or on your terrace. You'll see that those small changes can make a huge difference. And what also helped me to make my habits enjoyable was celebrating my success every time. This will just help you stay motivated and give you a sense of accomplishment. Even grabbing a coffee after your workout, it works so good. Like I'm so satisfied that I can just like go and buy myself a coffee because I did something good. It works on my brain, you know? Or even putting your favorite song on and walking the streets with, you know, appreciation. It's just so nice, and it helps you associate your habits with something positive. Yeah, so for me, I want to do something either perfectly or don't do it at all, which is horrible because there is no way that you can do everything perfectly. So what helped me a lot was to just have everything organized. Not perfectly, but organized. My plan, my notes, my goals, even my thoughts and my mood. I found out making my workspace more organized, especially inside my computer, made me so much more productive. Like for example, having all my thoughts stored in one place just made my brain decluttered and more ready to get some work done. And that is closely linked to the next thing, tools. Like any kind of tools that make your work easier. So I found this template on Notion that combines my daily life plan, goals, notes, project management for my work, anything all together in one platform. And this has changed everything. Like, it's just there. I look for something, I go to Notion, and I find it there. And I don't know about you, but for me, the fact that I paid for something for some reason motivates me so much. I don't know why. So I paid almost $200 for this template. Let me tell you, I will use it. And for me, the same thing applies for any other habits, my gym membership, meditation app subscription, or even the fact that I've invested in filming gear or editing software. I don't know, for some reason, I'm just motivated to use all that tools so much more than if they were free, because I just value them more. I don't know if it makes any sense, but for my brain, it does. So in Mexico, when I invested in Notion and some other tools, I've seen such progress with my productivity. Like literally, again, it made my work easier and more enjoyable, resulting in me being more likely to actually sit down and work on my things. If a tool makes your work easier, it's worth every dollar, you know? Imagine how much you're gonna actually save if you work more productively and faster. So then, in Hawaii, I really wanted to come back to my habit of meditating. And let me tell you, every time I come back to it, I just regret I wasn't doing it my whole life. Just like working out, it's a part of your self-care, but more in terms of your soul. And if you've never meditated for more than 2 weeks, just give it a try. It's kind of hard at first, and you feel like it doesn't do anything. But after a while of doing it systematically, you just start noticing the changes in your mood and mind. And the same thing with gratitude, recording your mood, and yoga. If you haven't tried yoga before, same thing. Book your class today. Like the feeling that stays with you throughout the whole day after it, I cannot even describe it. You have to check it yourself, you know? And all of this mindfulness work can help you identify negative thought patterns or habits that are holding you back and make time for activities that bring you joy and help you recharge. If you're in peace with your mind, you're so much more likely to actually get your work done because you're just not constantly thinking about the things that bother you because you're just like, I haven't changed almost anything about how I live. I've been traveling since I remember, but I've never been in such peace with myself as I am right now. So don't neglect your mental health and practice mindfulness. Okay, so maybe it's not a change for me because I've been optimistic my whole life, but I just had to mention it here. Just use your positive self-talk to keep yourself motivated. You know, just instead of focusing on negative thoughts or your self-doubt, focus on positive affirmations and visualize yourself achieving your goals. It just sounds stupid, I know, but positivity has been influencing my life in such a good way since I remember. Because again, it's all in your head. One of my favorite quotes is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. It's just all your perspective and how you see things, how you want to see things. You know, get inspired by people that live a life that you desire to live. Like, I've never understood jealousy. For me, it's literally something positive. If I'm jealous of someone's actions, I just get inspired by them, especially if I know them. Think of them as your coach that can give you tips on how to achieve all the things that they do. Like, they literally went through this whole journey to achieve it, and they can share how they did it with you. Okay, so this was a hard one for me. You have to start loving your alone time. Like, not only is it essential to progress with some of your habits, but it gives you these priceless moments when you can appreciate your surroundings, be grateful for your achievements, and it gives you the space to have this internal conversation with you. So, just remember to make the time for yourself. Take yourself out on a coffee, go alone to the beach, anything that will let you be by yourself. Sometimes while traveling, it's easy to get caught up in new experiences and socializing with others. But learning to say no to activities or events that don't align with your goals or priorities can help you stay focused, productive, and happier. I always say that you don't have to necessarily travel alone in order to get the experience of solo traveling. You can literally just spend one day by yourself, and I promise you, you will think of things that you've never thought of before while traveling with others. Like sometimes we forget about that, but it's so different to be by yourself somewhere exploring. You don't have to talk to them. You don't have to do things that they want to. Like you're just there by yourself. It's awesome. Alright, so find someone who can hold you accountable and provide support and encouragement. This could be a friend, family member, or even, a coach that you pay for. So when you find them, you're gonna ask them to check on you with your progress, and it will make you more motivated to actually accomplish your tasks. I don't know about you, but sometimes I just cannot motivate myself and I need someone else to do so. I don't know why, but it works better. And also ask them for feedback on your behaviors or your habits. They might be able to identify the patterns that you're not aware of. It's just always seeing yourself from another perspective that you don't see yourself. And feedback is awesome. Give me some feedback. I want to know your perspective on this video, even if it's cruel. Traveling can provide you with plenty of downtime, like waiting for your flights, transportation. Sometimes we just waste so much time while traveling, which can be used for productive activities like reading, writing, or learning something new, Like I literally spend an hour a day on public transport, another hour or more on cooking, and I actually realized how I can use this time on things that I don't usually have time for. It became my habit of just putting on an educational podcast while I'll do it, or audio workshop that I don't have time to listen to. Just use your time efficiently, because what does scrolling through your phone do to you? Nothing, unless you're looking for something specific or any inspiration. It's just pointless and waste your time. Just change it for something better. Alright, so on top of everything I said, I think that taking breaks and actually practicing your self-care is so important for staying motivated and consistent. Because sometimes I'm just so drained that I will just stop working for a week because I was just so tired of everything. So why would I do that? Instead of that, just, devote one day a week or 2 or 3 days a week to actually rest. And then you will have so much energy to work on those other days. Just try embracing a flexible routine. For example, for me, traveling full-time means that my schedule and environment are constantly changing. So it's actually important to create a routine that can adapt to different situations. And finally, remember that achieving goals takes time. As a lot of people have already said, you have to love the journey, not the destination. And that is actually true. I finally stopped chasing this dream body or dream life because what for? I've just realized that I had to learn how to enjoy myself now and the whole journey of becoming better and better. Because imagine you became your best version of yourself in one night. And then what? It would be just boring having everything that you dreamt about just like that, Now I finally started enjoying every phase of my progress, and it's just so satisfying to see your hard work pay off after a long time. So this year, after hundreds of failures, somehow I've realized that it wasn't a matter of not having enough time. I just had to change my priorities and design a proper system that would work for me. And now I can finally be productive while I travel by just devoting some time in the morning and enjoying my free time later. And I cannot express how happy I am right now, how much joy this whole journey has brought me, and how many things those failures actually taught me. And believe me, having those powerful habits like meditation, working out, and just taking care of yourself daily will change your life forever and give you the motivation to keep progressing and just chasing your dreams, you know? And of course, I still fail. I still have those days when I wake up and procrastinate for half of the day, but I just don't get discouraged anymore. I finally managed to stop doing all or nothing, because no matter what you plan for the next day, you cannot plan your mood or your motivation to do all those things. So just try to adjust your goals for today and don't be sad if you can't complete them all. Just make a little progress every day. And if you want to know how we managed to travel with my boyfriend during our gap year on a budget of $1,000 a month, just watch this video where I literally show you how we get free accommodation anywhere in the world. Literally a game changer.